An island with an active volcano that could erupt at any moment. Sun has finally peeked out from behind the clouds, and a perfect calm has settled over the island. But this is just the calm before the storm. In today's episode, we'll go back to basics and start a massive tree felling operation, since they've finally reached their maximum size. To process raw materials faster, I'll invest in another sawmill to boost my production. But that's not all. New powerful machines will also be appearing on the farm. A modern harvester, a round baler, and a set of mowers for my big tractor. I also plan to build a concrete helipad, because the volcano rumbles louder and time to escape is slowly running out. We're starting the day with business, driving into the soybean field below the volcano. This is historic, as it's likely the last time you'll see me in this harvester's cab. Even though the machine served me faithfully, with my expansion plans and enlarging the islands, it simply couldn't handle the load anymore. The sight of that smoking crater and my red SOS signs serves as a stark reminder that time is a luxury I simply cannot afford when I'm forced to work with outdated equipment. As the last rows of soybeans disappear into the old harvester's maw, I feel joy, but also relief that this is the end of this ordeal. My empire is growing, the fields under the volcano are becoming more and more massive, so I need a machine that properly represents the level of my farm. After selling the soybeans, I have over 100,000 euros in my account. With the money I've earned, I'm going into crude oil extraction. This black gold will ultimately finance my escape from this island. The money from the oil will enable me to construct a small airfield, suitable for the landing of a rescue helicopter. My empire under the volcano is becoming an energy powerhouse. From planks and lettuce to electricity from sawdust, all the way to my own oil wells. All of this is for one purpose only, to return home. Those prominent red SOS and help signs will soon serve as a crucial guide for my rescue. The land from the cut down trees finally gets its second life. Since this land has proven to be so profitable, it is high time to properly prepare it for the upcoming investment. I'm leveling out all the hills and uneven ground, because the upcoming investment requires a perfectly flat terrain. After all this extensive preparation, this is an ideal location to begin constructing a photovoltaic farm. My initial investment in solar energy totals 10,500 euros, and now I'm completing my final task of the day before I head off to bed. The rainy season is fast approaching, so I must hustle before the heavy downpours really get going and turn the ground into a muddy mess. A healthy dose of moisture is exactly what my fresh seedlings, along with the soybeans and rapeseed, need right now to truly shoot up and thrive. I made sure all productions have the essential materials gathered for operation, so the sawmill, incinerator and pumps will run without interruption, generating profit for me. 2 months of rain have passed, and over 179,000 euros have appeared in my account. I got to work right away and started expanding the island's terrain where the trees used to be. This is no longer merely cosmetic or just about leveling hills. Thanks to this, I gain an enormous amount of additional space that simply didn't exist before. New machines will also be working on this newly created land. After all these investments, I have nearly 200,000 euros to spend. I just spent 131,000 on a brand new powerful New Holland tractor, boasting over 300 horsepower. But the tractor alone isn't enough. I also had to buy a 6-meter wide cultivator for 23,800 euros. There's no time to waste, so I'm getting straight to work right away on this new expanded area. However, I must be extremely careful to ensure my costly New Holland tractor and wide cultivator avoid ending up in the water. I can't lose focus for a second, because a moment of carelessness would cost me a fortune. I started by precisely marking the field boundaries, driving slowly right along the edge of the waterfront. Considering the significant amount of new land I've successfully reclaimed from the sea, it appears this will become the second largest field across my entire island. Its sheer size will be surpassed only by that colossal area situated right at the base of the volcano. Work with the newly purchased setup is going lightning fast. Just 2 or perhaps 3 more passes to go and our new field will be 100% completely finished. I've just prepared one field for sowing soybeans, but the other one is already ready for harvesting. I admit, I was a little too quick in announcing the retirement of my old combine harvester recently. It completely slipped my mind that there was still one more. This was the very first field I ever created on this island. There's rapeseed growing there, and it'd be a shame to leave it. Especially since I'll get a few bucks from it, which will really come in handy with my investments in oil and modern equipment. This field holds a significant piece of my farm's history, and this harvest perfectly concludes a long-standing chapter, before I permanently transition to the more robust new equipment that will be capable of handling these newly expanded territories. I'm selling all the rapeseed I managed to gather for over 7,000 euros. I had completed all my responsibilities, so I was free to head to my tent and allow my productions to generate some income for me. And all of this happened while I was sound asleep. A substantial amount of money finally appeared in my account. I've already got over 200,000 euros, and that's not all. I still have wool and rapeseed left to sell. I've got a strong feeling my empire is in the best shape it's ever been. From my initial tree felling, I have reached a point where every single branch of my business is now generating a massive income. After selling all the wool I produced, I now have over 223,000 euros in my account. I decided to sell everything that's unnecessary. The island has gotten too crowded with this old equipment that's just taking up space, and after my recent investments, there's no point in keeping it. The machines will share the same fate as my greenhouses. They proved less profitable than I'd expected, so I got rid of them without any regret. Instead of messing around with hauling water for lettuce, I'm focusing on solid profits from oil and huge soybean fields. I've now accumulated over 300,000 euros in my account, and each machine sold provides an additional boost of capital, which will be essential for acquiring a powerful combine harvester. But the initial upgrade, following the large-scale disposal of outdated machinery, is a brand new seeder, complete with a substantial stock of seeds and essential fertilizers. I've poured over 100,000 euros into all this, so it's high time to truly put this seeder to the test. The difference it makes is absolutely colossal. Now the sowing will be done in a flash. The working width allows me to cover an enormous strip of land in a single pass, and the machine just glides along at a very high speed. My blue New Holland barely registers any resistance, and from the comfort of my air-conditioned cab, I'm watching the island's second largest field quickly become covered with soybeans. This is the efficiency I've been waiting for. Instead of driving in circles with a small seeder, I'm getting real work done in record time. It's time to quickly put this extra cash to good use. I'll acquire several more crude oil pumps to substantially increase my earnings. I'm strategically placing them, which will greatly maximize my extraction and significantly accelerate my profits. A greater number of active machines forms the bedrock of my business, generating revenue even without my continuous direct supervision. Every liter of oil extracted brings me closer to building the airfield and escaping the island. The moment I've been waiting for has arrived. We're going back to basics. The trees I planted just prior to the rainy season have now finally reached their full maximum size. The forest is dense, fully grown, and ready for felling, providing me with another substantial opportunity to profit from timber and wood chips. Yet, a significant issue arises. The felling site is now quite distant from the production facilities requiring this raw material, which presents me with a serious dilemma. Will such an extended transport even prove to be cost-effective? I'm genuinely concerned that the expenses for fuel and the lost hours will render any profit from the timber negligible. I really need to figure out if it's worth risking transport with my current equipment, or if I need an entirely new strategy so I don't slow down the growth of the rest of my empire. After a moment of careful consideration, I truly believe there's only one logical decision I can make here. Rather than squandering precious time on transportation, I chose to construct a brand new sawmill immediately adjacent to my small woodlot. This way, the problems vanish instantly. Now the felled trees only need to be moved a mere few dozen meters, enabling me to process wood into planks with lightning speed, all without squandering fuel crisscrossing the entire island. This solution will undeniably save me a significant amount of time. Building a new sawmill right next to the source of the raw materials is a clear example of optimizing my business operations. Production ramped up quickly, and I don't worry about long transport cutting into profits, as everything's now close by. After starting up the sawmill, I still had some money left in my account, so I decided to spend it on a set of mowers. A rear mower for 35,000 and a front mower for 13,500. I invested just under 50,000, and as a result, the working width of my grass cutting equipment is now over 8 meters. This enables me to mow the grass in an instant, and if you too would like to play on this map, or indeed any of my other maps, and utilize the very same modifications that I do, then I cordially invite you to check out my Patreon. The link, of course, is in the description and in the top left corner of the screen. Thanks to the new mower set, cutting the designated area was done in the blink of an eye. I just have one more pass left to make, and then the entire island will be completely mowed down. After mowing the grass, I decided to head straight to my tent. It was time for some well-deserved rest. While I was sound asleep, over 550,000 euros in passive income landed in my account. I immediately headed to the shop, ready to spend 30,000 euros on a grass rake that boasts an impressive working width of over 9 meters. Up until this point, I had managed without a rake, but the field I just mowed with my new set of mowers is considerably larger than previous ones, so this investment truly became a necessary acquisition. The main reason for the purchase is to streamline my work as much as possible. With this rake, I'll be able to form wide and even rows of grass, which will significantly reduce the number of passes I'll need to make with the baler, a piece of equipment I also plan to purchase in the near future. Instead of driving chaotically all over the place, I'll be able to collect the entire swath quickly and precisely. This is yet another building block in creating a truly efficient farm. First, quick mowing with the New Holland and its mower setup, then efficient raking, and soon, professional baling will be next. This is all done to save valuable time and to prepare feed for my animals with the absolute minimal amount of effort possible. I chose a John Deere baler, and I'm totally convinced it's the absolute best decision I could have made. For just under 115,000 euros, it not only makes bales but also wraps them in foil so they can ferment and turn into silage. This saved me a significant amount of money and precious yard space because I didn't need to purchase a separate wrapping machine. This baler pairs perfectly with my blue New Holland. All the mown grass is quickly transformed into finished bales in the blink of an eye. The efficiency of this whole setup is truly incredible. Where it once took me a good half day to gather the grass, now I just make one pass, leaving behind perfectly neat, securely wrapped bales, ready for storage or for sale. This is absolutely crucial, because with my massive fields and rapidly expanding sheep flock, every single second I save in the field means more time to manage oil extraction or operations at the new sawmill. The moment has finally arrived. After selling off my old equipment and saving up a substantial amount of cash, I've invested in a brand new class combine harvester. I chose a medium-sized model because after carefully reviewing the shop's offers, I decided it had the best price to performance ratio. This machine, along with the header, cost me almost 300,000 euros. I attached a header 7.7 meters wide to it, and that, combined with the fact that its grain tank is more than twice the size of my previous machines, dramatically changes the entire game out in the field. The difference in work pace is evident to the naked eye. The biggest relief is no longer having to constantly drive up and interrupt the harvesting process just to unload the tank. Now I can harvest an entire field of this size without a single stop. With such a fantastic setup, even my second largest field doesn't feel like much of a challenge anymore. It's an absolute joy to witness the grain vanish so swiftly, transforming a task that was once arduous into a mere formality, completed under the most opulent circumstances. I've already managed to harvest the entire field of soybeans, so I'm heading straight to the selling point to top up my account with some extra cash. I earned 21,000 euros from that. The moment I've been striving for, ever since I cut down my first tree and extracted my first liter of oil, has finally arrived. It's time to construct the helipad which will serve as my sole escape route. The volcano is becoming more and more unpredictable, and I feel like it's giving me less and less time before the situation on the island becomes critical. I needed to act quickly and strategically, so I made the decision to expand the terrain adjacent to the shop. I constructed a small artificial island there, connected to the mainland by a narrow causeway. This ensured the machine had unimpeded access from all directions, preventing any collisions with existing infrastructure. Given my limited resources, a professional certified airport runway was a luxury I could only dream of having. However, I managed to handle it differently. I repurposed concrete ramps, which allowed me to construct a surprisingly stable and perfectly level landing platform. The entire structure is now perfectly visible from a great distance, which is critically important when making an approach for landing in challenging conditions. This helipad symbolizes my success and my ticket to freedom. Despite being homemade, it is robust and fully prepared to accommodate a helicopter. I've also installed powerful lighting. If rescue operations need to happen at night, the pilot will easily find their way to the target without any trouble. Before I advance to the final stages of the plan, I must get the backyard chaos under control. Months of intense expansion, battling the rain, and making rapid purchases have resulted in leftover pallets, empty fertilizer bags, and unnecessary scrap metal cluttering up every corner. It's time for a proper cleanup, so I can reclaim my space to operate freely. I'm setting up the machines under the shed. My blue New Holland, the brand new class harvester, and the John Deere set finally have their designated spots. A clean and organized yard gives me a crystal clear picture of the whole situation before my final escape. Now that the volcano is getting more dangerous, every second saved from looking for tools is worth its weight in gold. I'm buying another sawmill for 180,000 euros because the wood supply is too large for one production line. Now I'm going to double my processing speed and profits. A quick nap in the tent, and then, immediately after waking, I'll head out to fell trees, aiming to maximize the use of these new machines before the final evacuation takes place. Right after I wake up, I get straight to work, taking full advantage of what promises to be an exceptionally prosperous day. The weather is perfect. It's very warm, the sun is shining, and there isn't a single cloud in the sky that could signal the return of those annoying rains. In these conditions, tree felling is going lightning fast, and I feel a new surge of energy to get things done. There's absolutely no indication that anything could go awry, so with a completely clear mind, I'm able to fully concentrate on operating all of the equipment and efficiently stocking the next sawmill with a fresh supply of perfectly stacked logs. With 2 sawmills at my disposal now, there will be an enormous improvement in the speed of my work. The raw material I'm collecting goes almost immediately to the production line, ensuring the yard doesn't get clogged with an excessive amount of wood. The sun warms everything around, and the sweet scent of freshly cut trees permeates the air, which only heightens the immense satisfaction of a business so perfectly planned. Every fallen tree means another batch of planks and sawdust, bringing me closer to finalizing all my plans before leaving the island. I'm making the absolute most of this favorable weather, well aware that in this climate conditions can radically shift in the blink of an eye. However, at that very moment, something completely unforeseen occurred. I absolutely did not anticipate that my adventure could conclude precisely now, and in such an abrupt manner.